Well, we all love Elmo, right? Elmo from Sesame Street, you remember him. But Elmo's X account has been compromised by a hacker who made anti Semitic and racist posts. The posts have all been removed now from the account, which has over 650,000 followers, among them a lot of kids. But because nothing dies on the internet, screenshots of these remarks continue to circulate. Roshini Rakshumar is an attorney, political strategist, host of the Crisis Files, and she joined us to talk about dear old Elmo. It's terrible to see him put in this spot.
It is. He is really my favorite from the Sesame Street gang, and I'm sure he's obviously has a lot of fans with the number you just said on X. A couple layers to this, Marie. First off, it just shows the status of Elmo that anyone even wants to hack his account, okay? It's
Right.
just true. It's also a sad state of the platform because way back in 2006 when it was still Twitter and it was gaining popularity, it actually was a great place to be for all kinds of people. And now we just know that on this X platform, there are a lot of trolls out there. There's a lot of negative energy going on. But the other layer is that some brands still need to be on there. And Sesame Street is one of those. Elmo is one of those. Not everybody has a team watching their account. So I applaud Sesame Street and Elmo's family for getting on it very quickly and getting those posts removed. Also, his brand is so strong. My guess is most of us, if we had seen those posts in real time, would have assumed this isn't coming from our guy Elmo.
Absolutely. So, you're a crisis expert. How can a company get on the other side of this? Nobody at Sesame Street, even if people don't believe that, Elmo would post something like this is just something they don't want to be talking about. How do they get on the other side of this?
Right. I think reacting as quickly as they can, which it seems like they did, and saying, someone hacked in to Elmo's account. We are doing what we can to make sure this doesn't happen again. We do not agree with some of this negative posting that was happening, whatever line is authentic to your brand. Now, I don't necessarily recommend every brand jumps in to social activism in any way, but you can certainly defend against or for. Maybe it was a positive thing and someone hacked in, like a different kind of a post, and you might say, just so you know, we don't make comments about this particular topic, and we've removed those comments. So you can be as generic or as pointed as you want to be. The key, though, is to act and to protect your brand. But don't overstate, don't be disingenuous, and stay authentic to your brand, your product, your service.
Yeah, so to jump on that. So this particular hack follows a lot of criticism toward X after its chat box Grok wrote anti-Semitic posts, including one that praised Hitler. So and in something posted on Grok's X account last week, the company apologized. So they apologized for this. What's happening here? Nobody wants. Well, I don't think anybody wants to go on X and see that kind of material. What is happening here? Why is this happening so frequently?
Well, there always will be negative elements, right? Some things don't stay cherry pie, apple pie, and smelling like roses forever. So this is where putting quality control into place, whether it's diligently checking various accounts or having flags on the back end that make sure anyone running those accounts knows when some other activist has gotten involved. We can't definitely get on everything. It happens to all of us. I remember an earlier version of my website got hacked into. We don't use that URL anymore. And there were ads for Viagra. And fortunately, my webmaster found that. This is like 12, 13 years ago now. And we were in the process of doing a rebrand. So we did everything we could to just advertise that our URL is different, taking down, shutting down whatever we could in that bad platform or that had sort of stolen away or been able to get into our account and post some things on our website. This wasn't even a social account. This was a website. So you have to just always be, as a crisis strategist, Marie, I'm always planning for the worst and then hoping for the best. So hope is not a strategy. You have to have a strategy for planful thought about who could come at us, what kind of content could be out there, could just a random program, this happened to Elmo, could just the bot that's in the background start eating away, kind of like Pac-Man at other accounts, even if it's not programmed. And so plan for and envision the worst case scenario, because then you actually put yourself in better position to have a good outcome.
And what you're saying, too, is that companies need to be prepared. This all costs money. The part to be prepared, the part to hire someone like you, the part about hiring people to watch your accounts, all of that costs money. So companies need to be, aware that you got to pay for that.
Yeah, you have to pay for it. But the other thing, Marie, is most companies, depending on size, of course, have small or large teams that are handling social accounts. What I have come across as a crisis strategist and executive coach with many of my corporate clients is even some of their internal public relations and social media managers aren't fully equipped. So even the people you're already paying on staff on your team, make sure they're trained. And a lot of that training doesn't have to be super expensive. It doesn't always involve hiring someone like me. There's training available on YouTube, all over the internet. But definitely any kind of web platform. I have a web company that runs my two websites, for thecrisisfiles.com and roshiniinc.com. They are constantly monitoring it. Sure, I do have to pay a monthly fee for that, but then they have all of the software needed if they see any bad actors. But you just find what you can afford as a brand and make sure they're in place and make sure your team is trained on what you do have in place.
Yeah, so just kind of that this is a part of doing business these days, and we have to be prepared for it. We had a guest on yesterday that was talking about this issue with Grok, and I asked that person this question. I ask you too. Do we need more government oversight on this sort of thing on our social media platforms?
I would say no, but you have to understand I'm an ex-journalist and I believe in freedom of speech. And the thing is, you can't just willy-nilly regulate, because in regulation, you do squash speech. What we can do is be more discerning about what we support. So if someone does have a negative post out there, don't tweet it, don't comment on it, even if you disagree with it, because any time it gets interaction, more eyes see it. So it's the kind of thing where, as much as I am never going to be someone supporting anti-Semitic or anti-any race or religion comments, that is free speech. And if someone wants to put that out there, in this country, they have the freedom to do it. I don't know that government can completely control that, nor should we get into a place where we are trying to have more government control. I mean, look what's happening with the government right now. They can't seem to agree in any department.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're the right place for the regulation. Really, private enterprise and individuals need to be very vigilant and discerning in what we put out and what we take in and comment on.
Yeah, we do need to be more discerning about what we interact with online. I'm always surprised when I see a crazy post by somebody, the number of people who have to chime in and say whatever they want to say about it. It's just like, well, why even engage with that? Just let it die. It's always a surprise to me. Roshini Rakshkumar, always a pleasure to talk with you, an attorney, political strategist, and host of The Crisis Files. Great perspective. Thank you so much. And we're so glad Elmo's okay.
We are too. I am too. Thanks, Marie.